I'm really sorry your mom got hurt at her rally. If that new Spider-Man hadn't shown up, everyone would have been fine. Please don't try to talk me out of this. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Good. So, that's my big secret. That's why I've been so busy. What's your excuse?
Hello and welcome to the Spider-Man Miles Morales Spoilercast and review from GigaBoots.com. I'm your host, Dan Video Games, and with me we have the full Spoilercast crew. We got Bob.
Spider-Man.
From GigaBoots. We've got KZ from KZExcellent.com.
I need you to stop lying to me.
We've got Mr. Feel from Mr. Feel's Wild Ride.
I'm flying up into the sky to explode.
And for anyone who hasn't listened to one of our spoiler casts before, what we'd like to do at the beginning is do a short synopsis of how we feel about the game and end these synopses with a sort of guttural sound to express our feeling. Then we go into specific discussions of different elements, some critiques we have, fun anecdotes, nightmares, glitches, and then at the end we give our final judgment and review scores. Each of us gives it up to 10 points each possible, making it a Famitsu-like out of 40 score. So let's get this thing started. We're gonna go ahead and start with Mr. Feel. Mr. Feel.
He loves going first.
Miles Morales is pretty cool. I like some parts of it a lot more than the original. Some parts only as much. There wasn't really any parts where I think the original was better. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a
Okay. Well, I guess next we'll go to KZ from KZ Excellent.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, you know. It definitely cut the fat, and thought they made some interesting choices in some of the story stuff and character stuff, and got a little concerned when certain villains got progressively worse and worse writing wise as it went on, but we'll talk about that soon. When you learn to stop lying to me, I'm gonna give this a
Okay, we'll go to Bob next. Bob?
There's some parts I really like about Miles. In some parts I don't like nearly as much. I think that it does some things better than the first Spider-Man game and some things a lot worse. So I give it a
God, it's such a good idea.
I'm in a similar boat as KZ and Bob. I think some of the things this game does are excellent, arguably better than the first. I think some of the things it does a little bit worse than the first, and I, for one, have no problems with the length of the game, and I'm excited to talk about it here, especially earth-shattering glitches I encountered. I'm going to give it a
There's a lot of things you want to talk about. Now, multiple little Dan heads have appeared all across the map. You'll see Bob heads toward the end of the spoiler cast for some reason. They still have more for you.
Yeah, Bob, me and your dad used to record podcasts. I stuck a different audio track on different ends of the city. See if you can assemble the full podcast, and I'll tell you what really happened.
You've said podcast, so I need to immediately shoot you. What did they do? Oh my God.
What?
The amount of people the amount of times I've seen people joke about, yeah, JJ's got his podcast. It's just like, it's like some Alex Jones, like red pilled thing. And then that new podcast comes up and she's like, yeah, so he invited me to debate him. And I'm like, fuck you. That has been a joke
Yeah.
people have made.
Yeah, no.
How did it get real? And how did they actually pay it off? This is psychotic.
It's fantastic. I really like them expanding the role of podcasters in this world from objectively bad to objectively neutral, possibly good.
I like the second podcast they have because she's like, hey, everybody, welcome to my podcast. The subject for today is this. Bye. Like half of them I feel like don't even get into the subject at all. I was like, that's great. I'll subscribe to this.
I turned that one specifically off.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who disliked Danica's podcast.
I find Danica to be a hilarious and very on point interpretation of certain
exactly
themes
why
of
I
podcasts.
turned them off. Same reason I can't. It's the same reason I can't watch Parks and Rec, because half the characters in Parks and Rec go, "I know you, and I fucking hate you. I don't want to see you."
My problem with it is it seems so intensely real, but also they play it up as if that's good. Like, I don't feel like they have any self-jabs in there. I feel like, oh, this is just obviously she's the good guy.
Bob, you can't end every single podcast with, make sure every half hour you're working at a desk to stand for 10 minutes. You can't end every episode with that and it not be a joke about, she tells you the hours during a day to try.
Like
this, they cast it perfectly because they got fucking Ashley Birch to do that character.
Oh, that's perfect.
no wonder I hated it immediately.
I thought it was fantastic. I think this character was firing on every cylinder. I think it was a very accurate portrayal and a good counterbalance to J. Jonah Jameson.
I became a bit more okay with it when they actually let you interact with the character for all of the underground bases.
I wonder
Get to
if
have it back and forth.
if we'll get to see more podcasts in the next game.
Yeah,
I hope there's at least 4.
I sincerely hope she never comes back, but
in the next game, of course, Doc Ock's going to get his podcast he's been trying to get off the ground, and you're his only listener.
Yes.
that's why Spider-Man says this, like, they're like, hopefully they fixed all the security problems of the raft. Like, yeah, like those octopus problems. It's like he's trying to set up his DBX, his microphone.
I would much prefer whatever weird Otto Octavius podcast they could come up with.
Be so down for any auto podcast.
And you just hear shit breaking.
I fucking hate Peter Parker. He got face surgery in a year.
He somehow no KZ. It's gone back so far in time. It's in the past now.
It is rough. Every time we see new Peter, I get a little like sad.
You see, Otto has like brain problems, right? So that for the first version of the original game was just fucked up because of that. You were seeing it through his eyes.
You were seeing through his eyes when Peter looked like a human being and not a weird homunculus grown in a Disney lab.
Not someone who's going to make a notepad statement online addressing the allegations.
I don't even know how to pick up a tangent from
I've given you basically zero rope here.
I think this is a fantastic aspect of this game to explore. However, I would like to explore some other things. So, as we know, this game was like $50. It's not a full 60, but it is a shorter game. How did people in this group feel about the length of it? Did you wish it was longer? Did you think it was just right?
I wish there was maybe a couple of more story campaign missions, because there are a lot of times where they're just like, this part of the story is gonna suck because we have no time for this shit. It's like maybe they could have massaged certain aspects of the plot a little bit better if they had a bit more story to delve out, but it's like, no, we need to keep going. But otherwise, I thought it was fine. I did it in 2 sittings just like the last one.
I thought it was pretty good. The only thing is that I would have liked a couple more swinging challenges, because I think there's only like 3.
Yes, there's like 3 per type.
And then, meanwhile, the last game had like every single science thing was the swinging challenge.
Yeah,
like, I don't mean like a huge amount more, but like another type of node that there was like 3 of.
Yeah, that's
I also wish more of the time capsules had some sort of gimmick to them, because there's one where you have to stealth it with the camouflage, because otherwise a construction worker will shoo you away. But that's the only one that's like that.
Yeah, I didn't have that feeling about it. I mostly just had a stroke because it's like, Miles, why did you shove this shit into the weirdest spots? Like,
Yeah, this
is
it
our
seems
I hid it behind a billboard in Times Square. I'm like, this seems really dangerous for a 15-year-old to be climbing up.
Right, fucking Miles and Finn.
Whatever. It was Finn's idea.
Fucking Miles and Finn shoved it in between layers of a building on the 7th story. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it seems insane compared to like this is obviously a replacement for the backpacks. It seems
Right.
just crazy.
Yes. Yeah, it does. It does. Seem really
It's also like the clues and stuff you get at the end of the game for the cards, where it's like, how did you have the time to do this overnight?
Yeah, his mom with a broken arm went and did this.
Yeah, that did remind me of, I believe it was a DLC quest in the first game where you're just like, I really gotta find all these audio logs so I can finish this gripping story. And I'm like, oh my God. He literally said that in Spider-Man 2017 while he got the audio logs. And I'm like, this is just that again. It's completely insane in concept.
Were those audio logs main game or DLC?
I thought those were DLC. Let me explain which one it is. It's the mob guy going to see a psychiatrist that is in fact,
That's DLC.
Yeah.
That's the DLC. I'm like, wow, those were bad.
It was insane.
I'm sad Miles Morales doesn't have, at least at this moment in time in my brain, did not have a moment on the level of get the helicopter to shoot the laser beam at the dude's head.
No, maybe
There was
DLC.
nothing even close to that insane.
True. I didn't get to talk about the length thing for me. I feel like either they needed more story or they needed to make it even shorter. Because near the end of the game, it became like, oh my God, we're going to keep repeating this thing at the end with her not wanting to listen to Miles like 2 more times for mission.
I was shocked at how much, like, it's a character. I haven't seen a writing decline in a character go down that quickly.
Yeah.
In a very long, I'm like, God, this needs to end faster or you need to stop.
Yeah, I honestly like
it happens like 5 times where she's like, listen, he's like, listen to me. Gets beaten up in a cutscene. No, you gotta listen to me. Gets beaten up in a cutscene.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I feel like if they wanted to make it longer, we'd need like either another villain or something to keep things mixed up a bit, or
maybe
anything else happening.
Some less contrived reasons for her to become less trusting.
Yeah.
Like when you have that sequence in the story where it's like, stop lying to me, and then it's like, yeah, I guess it was Prowler who put us in this situation. It's like, oh, that's your fault too. I'm like, I give up. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God.
She said to start morphing into Mary Jane.
It's extra frustrating. God damn it. God damn it. Fuck you. It's really,
you shot the truck.
It becomes it's much more frustrating to me because like the first 3 or 4 times Miles tries to talk to her near the end, he doesn't even get to say you're gonna blow up the fucking city. So it feels so contrived, and like he's not even able to say that because he has to go through his introductory paragraph first.
And then he finally says it, and she's like, no. And then later, oh God.
We're talking about it anyway. The part where the CEO comes on the intercom, they're like, yeah, it doesn't even make sense. I'm a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't care if you blow up my building. I have insurance.
So I didn't.
That was the best.
I'm not sure.
You nuke this city, I'll just buy the land for cheap and build my own city.
He literally said, story about terrorists screwing me over. I'm gonna get a city after this.
This isn't directly related, but I really did enjoy the part at the very end where he's just screaming, "It was deep fakes! It was all deep fakes!"
That might be one of my favorite lines in a video game in the last 5 years.
So I kind of lost it that, and I didn't look up what was nominated. I was just told when I said this to someone else. Apparently no one in Miles Morales is nominated for Best Performance, and I'm like, that's bullshit. Simon Krieger should have gotten it. Then I was told...
Miles got it, I believe.
Oh, okay, Miles did? I was like, Simon Krieger should have gotten nominated. It was only later that someone went, that's Troy Baker. I'm like, God damn it!
Give him another game award.
He got me again!
Dude, it took 2 fucking words for me to go, that's Troy Baker doing. He's not making a new voice. That's just how he talks normally.
It's just he fucking nails that character, that slimy piece of shit, so thoroughly. It's so on point. And the Battle Royale line, now that I know he's Troy Baker, I'm like, it's just Death Stranding again. It's just him being like, oh, this is a real game over moment.
You just think about it, it's like, how many Sony exclusive can Troy Baker sneak into? Uncharted 4, The Last of Us, Death Stranding.
I think he's in all of them.
We haven't confirmed he's not in Horizon.
Oh yeah, he's in fucking Infamous Second Son. He's the main guy.
Yeah, he's the main guy in Infamous Second Son. So he's in a shitload.
Why
It's kind of
why
ridiculous.
does Troy Baker in Sony exclusives play so many characters who look like they contribute to Channel Awesome? Because we're at 2. We're at Second Sonsman, and we're at
Second Sons.
Death Stranding.
I really do love the Simon Krieger performance here so much, because when that guy's like, if I had the original sample, he just interrupts him jarringly and goes, shut up. Oh, I'm doing everything in my considerable power to get you that. Don't you think I would do that if I could? I'm like, I love this man's performance. It's so amazing.
The audio log about taking your cell phone is also really good, where he's like, we're building the future here, but we can't build the future if the government shuts us down.
Yes, like the writers and him were on point with every line.
Yes,
of course he'd know. He lives in California and hangs out with games media content creators, so clearly he knows every bit of slang.
Yeah,
all he has to do is sit at anywhere people from Silicon Valley hang out and just listen to them talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's really powerful stuff. It's a shame that he seems so firing on cylinders as a character the whole way through, and I think Phin, has been rightly criticized by some of the people on this podcast for
Maybe she just kind of falls apart completely.
Even Simon Krieger even explains just hey, you blow this up, the insurance payout on terrorist attacks. Oh man, so good.
Well, he's consistent throughout the entire game. What he's doing. You know how he's going to act.
Yes,
it lines up perfectly. But then you hit Phin and you go, okay, you seem like a reasonable person sometimes, and sometimes you seem dumber than a Kingdom Hearts character. So it's kind of very weird.
But see, it's okay, because Aaron Davis pointed out that people do really stupid stuff when it comes to people they care about, and she wants to get revenge for her father, so that way she can feel better.
If her whole motivation
who disintegrated
was murdering Krieger, that would have been better.
Yes, it would have, and I don't know why they didn't go for that.
Yeah, that would make 100% more sense.
I felt like an idiot playing this game, because at the very beginning you do the Rhino segment, which is really cool, and then Krieger shows up and he's like, we'll take care of this. So when Rhino shows up again later, decked out in Krieger's tech, I'm like, how did I not see this coming? I'm a fucking idiot.
This is
of course he didn't return Rhino.
This is a Cinema Sins thing, but where the police all just man, where'd the Rhino go?
They explain it in one of the things.
Yeah, they have audio logs about it.
They have an audio log where he specifically says, yeah, we got Rhino doing community service for us.
Yes.
Our man at the Raft is setting up a special work release program. Which I quoted that specifically because I have that cutscene playing in the background. Good timing.
I know, right?
Rhino was a good choice, I think. Because immediately when they showed him, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because the first game had that rough-ish stealth segment with Miles where you have to avoid him. And then he yells about how he hates the chase of Goose, which they had to call back to.
Wasn't Scorpion there too? Was he there?
Not for the Miles one.
Okay, not for the Miles one. You just fight them together and can make Rhino.
Oh yeah,
Scorpion.
Yeah. I would have loved to see, another different character that was new instead of Rhino again. But I get it.
Well, you of course got Prowler.
Yeah, Prowler is great. I think he's one of the better characters in this game for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No,
I'm really
I-
glad that they did like a different thing than what most people do with Prowler. Because
Yeah.
we had the exact same story arc as what we got in Spider-Verse a couple times.
Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Also, I kept expecting like him to die saving Miles, and I am very glad he did not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like where they left that.
Miles this game was already kind of a series of L's for Miles.
Jesus.
I feel
Yeah.
like we got 3 different Miles gets his shit together cutscenes where something bad happens and he has like his heroic resolve, and then something horrible still happens all 3 times after it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, he does get owned repeatedly by the universe.
Mhm. The Prowler's like suit looks so sick. I don't know if I was the only one where I was like, wow, this is really cool. The way they animate his like Iron Man's like head, fucking like the helmet coming off just automatically like that.
It's
Yes.
really cool.
It's really fucking cool.
I marked out a little bit as the first time it happened. I'm like, yo, that looks so good.
I think the combat design in this is actually a bit more enjoyable than the first game
Yes, I enjoy it much more.
in most regards. I was a little sad that you don't get better web-related things.
Yes, I really wish they're like, no, you can't have impact web, which was one of my favorite things in that game, is just shooting him and flying him 40 feet into a wall.
Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely why he
That's
does
how I
it.
did
It's like,
every stealth encounter. Hide impact web dude off building.
that is why it's not there, Casey.
No.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can
No.
go completely stealth, making the stealth segments in this even more cheesecake than the first.
Yeah, I was able to walk up right in front of guys while invisible and take out 2 in a row, even though they were looking at each other.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like
That perk where it's if you're camouflaged and you do a takedown, they pretend not to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even use that one, and it was unhinged for me. With that, I was like, okay, there's just no difficulty in the game at the point where you use that mod.
I did all the stealth missions before getting camo,
So did I.
and some of them I'm like, they wanted me to have camo for one of these, I feel like.
Oh.
So did I. That one with the hot word release all the hostages.
Okay, that I failed at that so much, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you motherfuckers really have to have him say the same lines every time where he's like, fucking, Pete sure is weird, or whatever that long exchange is.
Yes.
I think I heard that like 15 times. Because,
Yeah.
of course, all the hostages are holograms
They
of
also
Spider-Man.
made the stealth harder in one way that kept fucking me over. In the first game, you could like do the kick where you web them and yank yourself over to him and take him down with a kick. And then if somebody else was watching you, you could very quickly do it to them also. And cheese it. You can't do that anymore. It pops everybody else immediately. At least in the stealth challenges, you just immediately fail.
Yeah, it felt like they worked to make that harder. And I was like, damn it. I want to do every one of these spider training things. Because, of course, Peter Parker set up hologram training things.
Of course.
I'm
That's like the
sad.
first
I'm
big
sad
thing.
that my premonition was so close, but none of them were pipe dreams.
Yeah. But I did all of those, like, immediately. So I got the hilarious payoff of just, yeah, Peter Parker's just going to talk about how cool he is, and you're going to fight a hologram of Vulture.
That was pretty good.
I'm sad there wasn't more Peter leaving recordings things because I thought the pigeon one was really funny.
Yes.
Where you help the old man
You've
with his
installed the
pigeons.
Pigeon Fact app.
Yeah.
He's
You
like
have
uninstalled.
opted in.
You have opted in.
This might be one of Yuri Lowenthal's best roles. He is insane.
I think I'm actually really excited for Spider-Man 2 now because I think Peter and Miles interacting is really funny most of the time.
Like, I like Yuri in a lot of stuff, but he chews the scenery a lot. It's insane in this.
Yeah, there's this element of Peter being like, I have a student, and he's just being like the biggest fucking loser over it.
Yes!
At least the face model matches now.
Jesus.
I mean, then he's like, here, Miles, we're going to make a video about game cases. I really like all of Miles' Venom shit, though, in regards to the combat. It's all really cool.
It is really good.
And they kept giving you stuff. Like, I didn't expect, for some reason, I forgot that there was like a dash move, and then they're like, if you upgraded, you can do the Venom dash at the enemy and hit jump as you land to then shoot them up and link together those attacks.
And I really like how it builds so much faster in the air. So Miles you have a organic reason to play Miles differently than Peter, where you didn't really have as much reason to yank dudes into the air as Peter, but as Miles, you always want to be punching people into the air because you build Venom so much faster.
Yeah, really, really smart choice to go. All right, building up your meter will not be for the one hit like takedowns. It'll be for the Venom, and then making that the reward for keeping a combo chain up is that you get those takedowns, which you can just keep banking.
Yes.
So in New Game Plus, you have like 3 of those.
Kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
The most ridiculous one is if you hit 1 HP during a fight, you will use the Venom explosion move.
Yep.
That fully heals you and kills everything in the area.
Yes.
What?
And I thought yes. I thought it was absurd in original Spider-Man that you have a gadget that's better than all the other ones, or a move where it's just he spins and webs everything around him. This is just, you win.
Yeah,
I summon.
Pretty much the only thing I used once I got the Venom explosion was that. Like, I knocked all of Rhino's armor off and like, I'm just gonna get up into your face and explode, and that instantly ended the fight.
That's one of those moves that immediately makes my brain go, this is the only thing I should be building toward ever. Because it's cool and makes my brain happy.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like, all the Venom stuff was cool, but for some reason, I think just the combat in general, I didn't click with as much as I did in the first game. I'm not even sure exactly what changed about it. I think they took out the timing your punches thing, which I actually enjoyed in the last game. It made me feel a little bit more engaged.
Did you time punches in that?
Yeah,
I don't even remember that mechanic.
Oh, yeah. It's a pretty neat mechanic in the last one. If you time hitting square as soon as you land the punch, you get extra damage and meter. Is that right, Bob?
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat mechanic. I also kind of missed it here. I was like, I kind of wish that was here. You know, it kind of matches up with everything else, right? Like, I like the Venom moves, but they got rid of that. I like certain other things about Miles' abilities, but they got rid of the web blast thing.
Yes.
It's kind of like
a give and take, I guess, to try and make it more unique. But
it's different, not the same, but also a little worse, kind of. I don't know. I like the melee feel more in this, but I totally understand missing the timed hit mechanic and some of the other things for sure.
I also think near max level, like what your options are start to get a little bit dire as far as skills, because it's like, what is this shit? I can yank down somebody I stealth killed to make an explosion of web?
Yeah, that was like, that's a neat thing to be there. It should just be there by default because it's such a
that
one-off.
should be there. It's such a niche thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
hitting like cartoon levels of like, what am I doing?
It has the problem some games have where it's like, you have 2 options now that you leveled up. Here's a very specific thing that might be cool. And the other one is you push a button to remove all their bones.
You could do an entire term paper to perform this, or you could shit it.
It's also weird that they locked some of the final abilities behind New Game Plus mode. It's like, I have all these extra skill points. Let me use them on something.
I mean,
New Game Plus.
It's literally all 3 final abilities.
Yeah.
And the final abilities of the final
of
upgrade of every gadget.
Yeah, like the final one for Web Shot is literally more Web Shot. Like, that's not even cool.
That's not even cool.
They're really trying. They were really trying to limit you from It feels like they did not want you doing what most people, including myself, did in Spider-Man PS4, which is like, I'm just gonna web people to walls and the floor, which feels weird because it's like,
It's a fucking Spider-Man, right?
yes, isn't it? Doesn't also it's like, doesn't it make more sense for Peter to be non-violently webbing people to things than crushing all of their bones?
Well, yeah, it makes more sense for Peter to do that, not Miles. Miles is into killing people, I guess.
Miles is a teenager full of rage.
You see, now that you're reminding me that the gadgets were locked to it, because I've been doing New Game Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't finished yet, and I forgot about the gadgets being upgradable. And I look, and it's like the fucking hologram ones, because one of your powers is just summoning the Spider-Man, like, VR, like, trooper dudes. And they're like, the final upgrade. When they're done, they blow up. And I'm like, I wish I knew about this. This would have been great in the first playthrough, where all three of them just run, dab on a boss, and explode.
I obviously didn't use the doppelgangers too much because the one time I did use them, it's like, oh, they all spawned in that wall and now they're stuck. So it's like, I want to help you
That
more.
means you got to use it more. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't use them very much because they just felt so strange and not nearly as good as the other two non-web gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I like the
can
gravity
gank them
well
all
a
into
lot.
one. Of course, especially once you upgrade it to take away their weapons, because they're just like, no, I need my shield. No.
Yeah, early game there was a lot of me doing gravity well into Venom ground pound.
Yeah, that works.
So, while the combat's enjoyable in these games and the side missions are too, a lot of what I liked about the original Spider-Man was not only the performances in the stories, but all the suits you get.
Yeah.
Because there are so many cool suits in this game. So that's why it was my largest tragedy that on my first playthrough of the game glitched and I was permanently stuck in my suit, ruining every normal Miles cutscene and making every costume reveal fucking ridiculous and upsetting. For example, I was stuck in that, Brooklyn Visions Center or Visions University? I can't remember. Outfit. I was stuck in that outfit for literally over 2/3 of the back half of the game. Okay? So, like, the back 2/3 of this video game, I'm stuck in that outfit. Sometimes it's funny. Other times it ruins an emotional scene because I can't see Miles emote at all. It also it also ruins every costume reveal because it's supposed to be he got the new memory shape alloys like outfit, so he's gonna show off how cool that looks. It's the same outfit that this glitch has stuck me in for the last 7 hours. Like, it was so upsetting going through on my first time because, as we said, there's some shortcomings with the story. It's already got some issues with the main antagonist, but to ruin that further with some of the things that was happening with me really sucked. And it really had a negative impact on the game. But it wasn't until my second playthrough that I figured out exactly what caused the glitch that I started having fun with it. So, hey, Phil, here's me having here's me having Christmas dinner in the Spider-Man outfit with the cat meowing the entire cutscene. It's just freaking out the whole time. But, like, it's such a shame. Like, it helped me get some enjoyability out of the second run because I get to sit there and, you know, glitch specific cutscenes that I know will be funny. But on the first playthrough, there are multiple crucial cutscenes it completely ruined.
You showed me some of this stuff ahead of the spoiler cast. My favorite was, I think it was a screenshot of you talking to Phin, and she's like, if fucking Spider-Man didn't show up, none of this would have happened while looking at Spider-Man.
So I actually uploaded that clip reel as well for Phil to see the game breaking in 3 different ways back to back. Luckily, this was my second playthrough. I intentionally recreated the glitch to make him be Spider-Man in this cutscene.
Brave.
But there are multiple other glitches in that video which Phil could watch over as it continues. Yeah, this game crashed on me as well about 19 times.
Whoa!
Jeez.
Yeah.
God, it's always you.
So that's one of the most reproducible ones, because some of them had to do with this glitch, like where I was stuck in the outfit and I had no idea why, and the game would just have a problem. Like if you watch the end of that second clip I sent you, you can see I'm dressed as Spider-Man entering the underground. And Phin just has a seizure as she nearly T-poses and clips out of the environment, shaking rapidly, and then just goes limp. So now I can't get into the underground because she's just lying on the ground.
This game came in kind of hot, huh?
I've heard a couple people have some other issues. I
saw somebody turn into a brick wall and then a piece of snow and then a rack of t-shirt.
I got
all in the span of like a minute.
I got stuck in a pillar and it ruined because I had completely finished the underground base, but got stuck in a pillar. So I couldn't actually grab the thing to finish it, so I had to redo that challenge.
Yeah, I've heard people having problems not on the 19 crashes type of thing, which beats out my Assassin's Creed Valhalla crash count.
Yeah, the one forgivable thing about it crashing that many times, it's fucking instant to get back in. It's
yeah,
it's 3 seconds or something. The most reproducible glitch I had, and I wasn't even doing this to be funny. I literally ran headlong into this glitch 6 times in a row trying to get this one trophy. There is a trophy that says, hey, use the gravity well on 8 opponents in this crime. You know, it's a shootout in the alley between the underground and Roxxon, and you need to use a gravity well on 8 enemies in order to get this checkbox done. And this was the last checkbox for a crime in the game, because it kept crashing, because I would shoot the gravity well onto the ground, it would hit the ground, and the second it made contact, crash. The second it touched the ground in between these people, it would crash over and over and over again. Eventually, I realized I need to go down there, punch them, start the fight, and then shoot it. And even still, one time it crashed the game. It was kind of nuts. I didn't mind those crashes nearly as much as being stuck in the Spider-Man suit, and every cool new costume reveal would just show him wearing the same outfit, and I couldn't change into any of the 20 plus outfits in this game, which is a huge amount of the joy I got from the original. As I said, that was upsetting, to say the least. I'm gonna go find the picture that I posted in our chat. But basically, I had to go through the entire flashback sequence with Phin at the science festival. Yeah, Spider-Man. No. So it just completely obliterates that fucking...
Yeah, because you're walking up to flashback Peter in the Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah. And there's the point where you do the selfie, and it's just all of you together being like, here's us taking a picture. And I'm like, that dumb bitch couldn't figure out I'm Spider-Man? She took a selfie with me like 2 years ago where I was Spider-Man. When is she gonna fucking figure this out? Also, I had the classic glitch. People who watched our Spider-Man 2017 stream will recognize this one. One time it cut to the fucking map and it just was pink.
Jesus Christ.
Right before we recorded this, it cut to the map for me to be like, you have unlocked the Roxxon bases.
Yep.
And I'm like, and they're scrolling through them, and I'm like, I can't see them. I go in deeper into this 50+ inch TV. They loaded in small. They look like little dots, little red dots. But I saw a little tiny blue dot near them. I'm like, yeah, that's the fucking chests that are also there too. The assets were just like really small.
That's insane. I didn't run into that. The one you're talking about is the one where it had this glitch though, where it just shows the color pink instead of any of the map.
I almost thought I had a glitch with the water valve quest, but no, I was just stupid. The one where you have to web up like 2 pipes and then wait, but I never waited, so I was confused.
There you go.
Yes.
That's the fucking image. There's the selfie. Please enjoy my fucking selfie in the past.
Is that going to be the thumbnail?
God, it should be.
Yes, do it.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it. God, it's so upsetting.
Man, like, if it had been this glitchy for me, I honestly would have just stopped. I'd been like, no, you've ruined it. You've killed me.
So people are probably wondering, Dan, you said you could reproduce this. You figured out what was the glitch. What caused the glitch, Dan?
Oh, yeah, I am interested in that.
I'm going to mention this here. People are going to use it. Insomniac's going to be losing their mind wondering how this is happening. Hey, guys, maybe don't use the activity card to jump back into the game if it's closed.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You were in full next gen mode, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Astro's Playroom, it works perfectly in. This, apparently, it flips you from performance mode to cinematic mode and sticks you in this fucking outfit for the rest of the game!
Did you even buy the outfit? I need to know.
I had the outfit.
Okay.
I don't even think I had it equipped.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure. I
Is
may
it
have
like
put it on for like 5
if it
seconds.
switches to performance to fidelity, I think that's what photo mode also does.
Yes, I think
So it might be linked to that, where it's like some function, because photo mode does that, because
Yeah, the photo
want to have
mode.
the best photo ever.
The photo mode swaps out all the models for the higher quality. It doesn't add the ray tracing in because it has to checkpoint you. Like, it has to throw you back to a checkpoint for fidelity mode for that reason.
Yes.
But here's the thing. It did that glitch, and then I was like, oh, that's weird. Why am I in the wrong graphics mode? And then I just switched it back to the original, or performance, which is what I have it default to. And then the rest of the game, it just keeps doing this shit. And I'm like, why is it doing that? I even closed the game and rebooted it with the continue button on the activity card.
No.
Not realizing every time that's the whole reason. I was
That's really funny.
If I had just booted the game normally and hit continue from the title screen, it would have fixed it. And it took me until well after I beat the game to figure that out.
Ugh.
Yeah. I did literally everything before I figured it out. It caused some hilarious moments, but man, did it really fucking ruin some cutscenes.
This is very you playing Jedi Fallen Order tier, where it's like, he won't open the door. I've done this section of the game 8 times. It still won't open.
I ran into glitches. None of them this bad.
This isn't a glitch,
Yeah,
but I love this photo, so I'm just posting it. Go
I
ahead,
had
Bob.
one crash and that map thing. That was it. Oh my god.
I had I think one crash, maybe more, but I don't remember. But it shoot the entire game. You know how there are bonus objectives for every side mission? Like, oh, do this and then do so many like in-air combos, or hit him with this many venom punches. Typically, those would spawn in half completed. Or just fully completed. Like, I didn't do any of them for the crime, and then it's like, yeah, you did all of it. You're really good.
You're so good at this, you did it before you even started.
Which I thought was really strange. And the other glitch I got was the camera just completely disconnecting to Spider-Man during the first one of the swing challenges with Peter.
Did you record that?
I did. I need to.
You need to show me.
Yes. Because it like leaves Spider-Man, gets stuck in some random building, and then I can move it, and it just is going in strange places. It's very weird. But yeah, that was it for the major glitches I hit.
You want to know the absolute breaking point for this glitch, and the thing that made me determine I needed to figure out how to fix it immediately, or I was going to lose my mind to give this game a 2?
Yeah.
I got Spider-Cat, except for I didn't.
Oh no.
They showed me a cutscene where Spider-Cat should have been with me. I was in that dumb fucking suit.
That's terrible.
It was the worst.
It's a pretty bad suit.
It's not a great one. It's kind of funny. It's insane for Spider-Man to wear that.
I like any suit where Spider-Man wears regular clothes over a Spider-Man outfit, so I like it. But
I like that sort of thing on that level, but the part where it just says, hey, here's this thing he went to, I'm like, that's insane.
yeah, no, there are too many things he wears that are that, where it's like, this is clearly outing you, Miles.
Yeah, I much preferred the winter one you get.
Yes, that one's great.
Yes.
Yeah, and the whole thing around it I thought was neat and sweet.
this game looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, it looks great in 4K 60 mode. The fidelity mode is unreal. Like, I didn't think the ray tracing was that impressive, but when you go around the city and stuff, it is actually a huge difference. A completely related note, 30 frames per second mode feels like shit after you've been playing on 60.
Yeah, I never want to go back.
Yep.
Here's how bad it is. On 60 frames per second mode, the enemy's about to attack you, so your spider sense turns red, and you know to dodge then, right? So you hit circle, you dodge at just that moment.
Uh-huh.
On 30, you have to hit it before it turns red, or you won't perfect dodge. It's that bad.
I can barely do that reliably on 60.
You, my friend, should check out 30, because fuck.
Because one of the trophies, of course, is doing every crime and getting every bonus objective, and one of his perfect dodge 6 times.
Yes.
And this dude with his gun, and I'm like, come on, do the punch. That one's easier. I'm losing my mind over here. Well, you were talking about the suits because you had glitches.
Yeah, I love the suits. They're all really cool.
Yeah, what's a suit you really liked?
Literally anyone else answer this question, because this is such a sore spot.
Bob.
I really like the one where he's got the digital camo pants in the jacket. I can't remember what it's called, though.
I think it's like The End.
Maybe. But yeah, he's got the hoodie up.
Look through these.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it's the hoodie with the black red camo and the big boots.
I really appreciate the one made from the shape memory alloys, like the
programmable matter suit.
Yes.
Yeah, the programmable matter suit.
Yeah.
That one's so sick, and the couple times where the game is at night, it looks insane.
Yes. I also like the one that is in some of the pictures I'm posting where he wears, like, I don't know what you would call it, a hoodie over his glowing fucking eyes with the fog lights.
That's $20.99.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. $20.99 suit's really incredible. I also really like the Prowler suit he gives you. Your uncle gives you that suit.
Suit is really good.
Purple Rain.
That's when I really started going off the deep end with my emotional relationship with this glitch, because that suit, I had to look at it in the menu. I couldn't wear it. I was so upset.
God.
Come on.
I lost my mind when one of the first things I did in this game before progressing the story was all of the Spider-Man training things, and then they give you the Miles Morales 2020 suit.
That is my favorite suit in the game.
Where you get the Daft Punk Vanitas helmet with like LED eyes and like glowing shoes.
Yeah, that shit's real cool.
And I'm like, this is better than 90% of every suit in the last game.
I think there's only one suit I just don't like. I can't remember what it is named, but it's got like gigantic Hulk hands almost, and then his face is red webs that are really way too 3D.
The strike suit.
Yeah, the strike suit. That thing's hideous.
Yeah, I'm also not a big fan of the strike suit, especially since it has like the popped collar.
Yes, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pull up a screen. The way they've done this suit, I'm not a fan of it because it has the it has like the web part of the outfits like jutting out. So I'm not a fan of that. Like I don't know why.
Yeah, it looks ugly.
Go with that. I can't grab a screenshot of it, but if you look up the strike suit, he's got the spider on his chest, but because he has the popped collar, the body of the spider logo looks like a tie. And it's fucking destroying me. It's like business cuck Spider-Man.
Yeah, that is kind of how it looks.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking behind this suit at all.
Maybe it wants one contest.
I like the programmable matter one because it's like, okay, you base one off the villains that you're fighting, because you know Spider-Man had that in his game with the like Mr. Negative suit.
Holy shit, you guys.
But this one is a lot cooler.
Guys,
what's up?
I tried to look up the fucking strike suit And what it led me to was a YouTube video, right?
Okay.
Oh no, please don't.
I didn't realize it was the PS4 version. I didn't. Guys, that version has load
shit.
screens.
It does, yes.
No. It doesn't just have the 3D load screens from 2017. It has load black screens to lead to those load screens to lead. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's very cute that I saw legions of people going, PS4 version's fine.
It's gonna be very funny when the PS4 version of Horizon Forbidden West takes 4 minutes to load when you fast travel.
This is nuts. Because while I was playing the game, you would leap into a ventilation shaft or whatever and just immediately pop outside in some of the areas.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me was like, it flashed to white before it did that. How long did the PS4 people spend staring at pure white?
Like they beat a boss in a Square game. I have a question. Do you think the PS4 version snows at all?
It would be insane.
It has to snow.
It'd just be funny. It's like there's snow on the ground. Because that was the thing that mesmerized me a lot, is finishing a mission and then they do the slow-mo freeze. And if you immediately started swinging, you'd see all the snow like slowing down at a snail's pace, and it looked really dynamic and cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I wonder if PS4 version has snow.
The final mission is like during a hurricane with snow. It has to.
Like, we're in a new gen, so I assume every game that comes out from this moment forward looks like the most embarrassing nightmare ever. Even if it was made with that system in mind, like,
yeah,
even a AA game, I'm assuming the worst.
I mean, I assume every third-party game absolutely is that.
Everything is Shadow of Mordor PS3.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm assuming
Please
too.
look
until
forward to
proven
Cyberpunk.
Please look forward to Cyberpunk.
Turning back to the suits to escape this. I really like the Crimson Cowl suit. Which is just like the Miles equivalent of like the Spider Gwen outfit.
I got a couple cutscenes where it matched well with Phin, because the Tinkerer and you're both like hooded and stuff, so it actually worked real well.
I also honestly really like that the suit Peter gives him is like the fucking worst. It's so shitty.
I was listening to one of the like dev spoiler casts that popped up, because like the director appeared on one. And he's like, yeah, it was a reference to the comics where, that actually happened. That was the suit that he was supposed to get. And other stuff like, a lot of people keep making fun of our game for saying the power is called Venom. Fucking blame fucking Bendis. He did.
Blame Brian Michael Bendis.
That's
fucking.
He's like, that's why it's called that. He named it.
Like, it doesn't fit, so it has all these wrinkles all over it.
Meanwhile, Miles is like, this is so cool.
Which make like, it has knee pads, like he's in elbow pads, like he has training wheels on his bicycle.
Yeah.
And it's like, Peter, who did you make this suit for? You're not that different build-wise from Miles.
I wasn't the only one who was assuming you were going to get the suit from the cover at that point, right?
Oh
yeah,
no, I had no assumption that it was that.
I assumed it was that, yeah.
I assumed it was going to be something good like that, because you see Spider-Man make some good-ass suits in like 5 minutes, like the end of the original, where he's like, I guess I could just whip up the anti-Oct suit right now.
Yes.
Meanwhile, he's like, I shit on some cloth and gave it to Miles.
You know how I said that one cutscene with the Prowler outfit was the peak? You know what was actually the peak? When I was stuck in that suit during the very ending moment, when the reactor blows away your suit and it doesn't work on the suit it stuck me in.
Yeah, it didn't work on my suit either.
Didn't on mine either.
Okay, so it just doesn't work on any of them but the default. What were they thinking?
I don't know.
Probably.
Okay.
They should have just put you in the default suit for that cutscene. I have no idea
They
what
should have.
Because that was really cool seeing that in the trailer. And then
And
they get to it,
the
and
game
it's like,
doesn't do it.
what the heck?
Kind of funny that one of the final moments in the entire game is what they opened the first trailer on.
Yeah, that was a real Gears of War 2 moment where it's just like, what do you fucking mean the E3 trailer's the end of the game?
Fucking the director said something like, Sony's really cool for actually letting us do that.
It's a really cool shot.
Because I had like the 2099 suit and it did not change that shit at all.
Between that shot not showing up as I played through the game and Spider-Cat not showing up as I played through the game and then this glitch, I had a real frustrating moment going
I
through
didn't
this.
get Spider-Cat until after I beat it, too.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay.
He's
Yeah,
post-game content.
he's post-game content. And I'm just like, guys, I've been waiting this whole game to play with a cat on my shoulder. You telling me I did literally everything before? What?
That's like all the people who didn't pre-order that are like, I have to get to level 14 to get the Spider-Verse suit.
Okay.
Oh, shit. I have a DLC code I'm not even using that, like, they could get. Damn.
I'm the only one who was like, I wanted like the Spider-Verse suit, but it makes his proportions weird, so I just didn't even wear it.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
You know what?
The goal was
Maybe-
accuracy, and they nailed it.
Just maybe you would appreciate the Spider-Verse suit if you got stuck in some stupid fucking suit jacket.
I think I'd be more upset if being stuck in the Spider-Verse suit.
What?
Yeah, it makes the
With his
proportions
big
so
eyes.
bizarre that I'm like, I don't want that in a regular cutscene. He's gonna take the mask
I don't
off.
like
He's going
like
to have
this popsicle stick I own has bigger ankles. It's like thicker than his ankle.
He's gonna take his mask off and have a fully human head attached to this bizarre body. It's gonna look horrifying.
Wojak looks just like that.
You know what we haven't talked about yet? The fucking music, and goddamn, what an improvement over 2017.
Yeah.
Especially the swing music, because they have to once again like play something every time you swing.
Yes.
But I like the beat on this one a lot.
Oh yeah, like by the end of 2017, you're just like, this music all sounds the same. I'm so tired of hearing orchestral
Yes.
Avengers music.
It's like that's exactly what it's like. It's like it's not even on the level of the Danny Elfman old Spider-Man stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's not even on the level of like God of War 2018. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
can't comment on that because I don't remember the music from that game at all.
Guess what? I don't remember the music for Spider-Man 2017.
I only do because I went back to get the platinum.
No, I know. I remember the main theme. Just that.
The only God of War song I remember is do 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 do. Nothing else.
But the main theme in Spider-Man they just used over and over again for like every like key moment.
Yeah.
So I'll remember it. But I don't remember if any other song except for like there was like one riff they play before the final boss that I was like, all right, I'm vibing with this a little bit. But there was plenty of good stuff here, including just straight up songs for the game.
Yeah.
Like they brought in Jaden Smith to do mumble rap for this game.
That was during the cutscene where he drank the coffee upside down and fucked up, correct?
It might have been. I think he did a couple of things because he definitely did the credits music.
The song, the montage of Miles, as Phil phrased it, getting his shit together and then fucking up drinking the coffee upside down was a really good cutscene, and I really like how they cut it to the music. I thought that was especially good.
When that scene was going, I was like, how close to the end am I already? Like I was a little concerned at first because it reminded me of getting the anti-octopus suit, where I was like, oh god. I mean, we did just do a money set piece, so I was concerned a little.
And then not only were you not near the end of the game, Miles still fucks up a million more times.
Yes.
So there were a couple key moments, and I swear this is the last time I bring it up, but I cannot stress how suffocating this glitch was. There was one time, I think it was two maybe, but one time especially, where Miles, he gets defeated, he's beaten, he limps his way back home and he goes to sleep. He wakes up in bed wearing the Spider-Man suit, and I'm like, that's really risky, don't you think? Aren't you gonna... Son of a bitch, it's the glitch! It actually got me.
I'm glad you had those glitches. You had it coming.
I'm not.
That's terrible. I legitimately thought the point of the cutscene was that he slept in his outfit. And he had the shit beaten out of him so thoroughly that he didn't even change. So later it is, oh yeah, no, he is in his outfit. His mom sees it. I was like, God damn it!
I just like it because it's playing mind games with you.
It's so fucked up. That's the last I'm going to mention that. I think I've talked about basically everything I wanted to talk about. You guys have anything you want to specifically talk about?
Now, I wasn't too sure because it happens, Is Rhino dead?
Okay, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. What do you guys think? Because I think they just offed Rhino by Phin.
Because it looks like his throat just gets completely crushed with the sword.
Yeah.
I was like, I think that Miles succeeded in saving Rhino there. That's my guess, but I guess
they never mentioned that shit again, as far as I could tell. So I was concerned quite a bit.
That's fair.
I'm like, it's fine. He doesn't need to show up again because you've used him in 2 games and his fights were cool. He got a cool robot upgrade, but
yeah, and his fights in this were really good. I like the design of the.
I yelped. I was like, "Fuck! You can't do that. It's Rhino. That's Rhino. You're a villain that gets worse with every cutscene."
I think it was mostly after this point that I got really exhausted. Yeah, she just shoves that fucking sword into his throat.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's...
Well, that was also the mission in which she brings up that you've lied like 6 times.
Yes, that's true.
It's like,
and I was getting progressively more like not into that. And because there's an exchange that's like, you shouldn't kill people. This is dangerous. It's going to kill a lot of people. Yeah, well, some people lie. And it's like, oh man, you got me. I lied to you one time. That is...
The genocide is fine because you lied to me once.
Yes. You either needed to end that faster or have more story there so that you could come up with a less stupid set of situations for this breakdown to happen.
They speed ran a lot in this plot. Where did the Tinker get her gang? They were always here and they just want to be epic.
I did like some of that stuff where they fill out the universe a little bit, where it's like, it's been a year since Fisk got taken down. What happened? All of his shit got shuttered. And the underground just uses it as a layer now. And then you have that side mission where Fisk is still trying to he's trying to take control of Harlem, and it just doesn't work at all.
And then you see every pore he ever had.
Yes.
Fisk has that black magic 12K camera in prison.
It was crazy. I did like that they continued to fill some of that stuff out. You get to see the cause and effect, or where it's like the underground just owned the demons. That's how they're super cool.
So how do we feel about the gears? The game's big addition.
The big addition to the game. Is this better than Pipe Dream?
The gears, much like a few other elements of this game, feel like the most insanely video gamey shit in any of these Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
Because they go up there with we need to give this motor power so it explodes when you throw it at a thing. And I'm like, that's not how... What?
I just did that section as we did this, where I'm just like, okay, here we go. Gotta move this thing to pick this up, to move that there, to make the circuits where you shoot the web to connect it. You gotta get sight lines on it.
And it's also that way a
insane.
combustion engine is now incredibly explosive.
And now you have to venom punch the thing you did 18 steps for, now throw it at a wall.
Yeah.
Those are both very, very, very strongly have the energy of our game came out in 2008 and then the sequel came out in 2009.
This also felt like a response of we want to address the problem people had where it's they like playing Spider-Man. So we're going to focus on making major gameplay segments all Spider-Man related. But we want puzzles. What do we do? And they're like, you ship in 10 months. Gears.
Yeah, I don't think there was a single puzzle section in this where I thought that was clever. It was all, this is stupid.
Yeah, like
that's fair.
So many of them were like the train one. What did they want me to do? Like they didn't like
Yeah,
I didn't understand the goal Miles had, so I had no idea where to start.
So
I did that again today and forgot how to do it.
So my major problem mentally with that puzzle is I thought the piece that was actually on a side rail was on the track. So I was trying to get the fucking train car on the same track as the sidecar, and then I realized that's not actually on the track. That's a side thing. That's for storage. How the fuck am I supposed to know this? I don't ride trains.
Right.
Like I don't fucking...
That was exactly what I went through like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what they want here. I don't understand. There was one puzzle where I was like, okay, this is kind of all right, which is the last one basically in the game when you're infiltrating the science center and you have to move the giant video game balls.
Yeah, I had more fun doing the stuff where you connect stuff with electric web than most of the other puzzles, and they barely use that.
I just like the fact that it was like a gigantic structure, and if you move that orb, it can then connect to one of the 4 buildings. I was like, oh, this is the most video game it's been yet. I like this.
The other one I had a problem with was the first sound puzzle.
Yes.
Yes, I was terrible at the first sound one, and then more than half of them I got within 7 seconds or something. I was like, I pointed and it was that.
Yeah, no, the rest of them it was once you know what you need to do, because that one, it starts you facing like someplace that this thing totally isn't in.
Right.
And it's telling you, like, get closer to that sound. And it's like, I can tell it's not the right sound. Why do I need to get closer?
Yeah, I pointed it at the street. It barely made any sound at all. And the fucking thing's like, okay, good, now get closer. And I'm like, the street's not making a sound. Yeah, that first one's really, really bad.
I felt like an idiot for not knowing the train one. It's like, oh, wait for the train to pass by, then capture it.
I knew the train was it, but it wouldn't register right, so I was really upset. I kept having it'd be like, you're not close enough. I'm like, dude, I'm outside of your box for walking. What are you talking about?
And you finally get it, and he's like, let me tell you why I'm a fuck up.
Yeah, that was every one of those.
I like that a lot. I do appreciate that his entire character was, I'm a fuck up, but I'm also a coward.
Yes, that is a really good character.
Miles just calls him a cuck at the end of the game.
He's like, yeah, I may die, but at least I'm not a little piss baby. And then fucking Aaron Davis is like, shit, I am a piss baby.
I'll do something brave. I'll just narc.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that his ending is just like, he's not really a villain. When you go through it, I'm like, yeah, he did some shit, but you know, once they
he's like just a 9-to-5er at being a criminal.
Yeah, I do like the entire idea where it's like he tries to go straight because Miles' dad dies. He's like, I need to try and get back into the family. Meanwhile, Miles' mom's like, no.
She's like, I'm glad you had that epiphany.
I know
also,
he's a super villain.
Does she?
Yeah.
I mean, the file was right there in the room.
I mean, also,
right.
literally, she says, that's for him to tell you. So she clearly knows what's up.
Like, that was so funny when you start the game and it's like, go get the records for our dinner. And right on the floor in the middle is file, flip, picture of Prowler. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he's in. I assumed.
Yeah, well, like we said earlier, I'm really glad it didn't just turn out the same way Spider-Verse did it. Like, I think this is a really neat way to take the character.
I like it was a nice ending of Yeah, he's gonna serve like 2 years at most.
So next Spider-Man game takes place 2 years later.
Yeah,
It
probably.
probably will.
Yeah, I know.
Like the idea they could do that, and he could just straight up just come back.
He comes back and is teamed up with Black Cat, and it's just like, guy, you just got out of jail, please.
I put audio tapes in her cat dolls.
Ah,
Go across the map. We prepared these 4 years ago, but we have decided to place them here now.
I want to talk about a story element that I didn't mind, but it did make me imagine things that made me laugh,
Uh-huh.
which was all the parts of like the Harlem citizens gushing about Miles, which I thought was touching, and I get what they were going for.
Yeah.
But they were saying like, he's our Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man who cares about us. Just makes me imagine Peter going like, you don't make more than $50,000 a year. You're on your own, and just swinging away from a buggy.
No.
Yeah, it does,
Whereas, like-
it does paint Spider-Man original in a different light, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's the corporate Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's a reason
It
he
really
goes
paint-
after Fisk.
I hate. We don't like that Spider-Man. You know, the one that works directly with the cops.
I also really was not an enormous fan of how Miles gets the camouflage, especially since the guy's about to
When
shoot
he goes
him.
into hands up, don't shoot.
Yes, that was really weird because one, they don't do anything like that anywhere else in the entire game. Two, like those guys immediately become disposable enemies. So it's just like, no, these two guys are gonna shoot Miles to death. Nothing he can do.
I mean,
Nothing he can do.
to be fair, in that moment, he's freaking out because they're not listening to him. He's a teenager, and he didn't expect them to be a violently evil corporation. Normal evil, sure. But in that moment, he's kind of freaking out because of that. So him instinctively wanting to bail and unlocking that ability makes sense to that degree.
And he is pretty beaten up from trying to put the bridge back together.
That's true. I didn't see Peter catch any bullets with his teeth in the original.
Yeah, I did appreciate it. It's like, I'm gonna film you doing these.
Yeah,
Fuck, you are.
That was both incredibly real and like kind
yeah,
of
that
funny.
was the realest shit. And
Where
I
it's
start
just-
turning to dust. I'm
J-
like, no.
Cutscene
no,
starts,
that's
lady's
real,
like,
no.
I'm gonna fucking film you, and I'm like, yeah, you film him. And he's like, I'm gonna throw your phone out, and I'm like, fuck, god damn it. What we're trying to say is it's very gripping.
It is. It gripped me quite hard and would not let go.
Yeah, there are multiple moments throughout the game where I'm just like, it's kind of neat, I guess, that they're proud to have their own Spider-Man, and that's the idea. And admittedly, like when Phil was bringing up those things earlier, I did just imagine Peter just being like, what? I protect you guys too. And they're like, Peter, every time we see you, you're drinking fucking Starbucks. And he's like, what's wrong with Starbucks? And they're like, buy local, motherfucker. And he's just like, I'm sorry?
Just the idea that it's one Spider-Man trying to deal with all of New York. So
Yeah.
some places just end up not getting.
Peter's like,
getting
I
what they
live
need.
on the other side of town. Come on, be nice. It's a really long
He-
swing.
Yeah. So you start the game where it's like, Miles isn't really into this whole move at all. And then by the end, it's like he learns to love this place and then straight up just be the Spider-Man of this area. And they try to do their own like Spider-Man 2-esque moment where it's like, we know, but he's our Spider-Man. So fuck off.
That man's performance is one of the best of the game. They're just like, did you see his face? And he goes, oh, him? I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, I
This man...
third mark. I was like, I need my Spider-Man 2 subway moment.
It's a good moment.
And this is pretty damn good.
This dude has two lines and he nailed both of them so thoroughly. And I'm like, how did you do that? Perfect. I hit the moment at the end of the game, you know, you complete all of the crimes and friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app stuff. And then you come up to the wall art and it says Black Lives Matter. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And then I brought that up with someone and they're like, yeah, didn't you know the internet had a meltdown about that? I was like, of course they fucking,
course
god
they
damn
did.
it. Of course.
Of course.
Fuck.
Yeah, because previews immediately like posted that, because I think Game Informer had like a clip of it, and my favorite post about it was someone saying, "I hope all these racists cancel their pre-order so I can get a PS5." They did a lot of really, really like charming stuff. Like I like the actual like vibe that Harlem has in this game, and the constant use of like Spanglish.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the like go walking through the apartment, because I've been in so many fucking like houses that look exactly like that and are decorated exactly like that.
I was also thinking about what is probably one of the more unappreciated parts of the game that I imagine was very hard for them to get going. All that sign language they do in a couple of scenes.
Yes.
I imagine like getting that right must have been very hard.
Oh yeah, super difficult. I'm sure.
Where it's like, if they did that wrong, we would have seen the articles by now.
Yes.
That's something that would immediately, it's like, these idiots. Fucking Miles said something really, really bad in the sign language.
He accidentally called her a cop. I don't know. Wrong simple. But yeah, no, that was really cool. I really like that character is just like, that character is so cool. And
Yeah.
I also, like you were saying, appreciate the organic segueing between English and Spanish. Like I definitely appreciate all of that in this game, and that's one of the things that I really, really enjoy that it has that the original, 2017 one didn't.
The director talked about it. He's like, yeah, we got a lot of experts in for a lot of the stuff, and the Spanish stuff that we put in the game, they were there to tell us how absolutely wrong we did it multiple times.
Good!
And how no one at all speaks the way we're doing it.
I appreciate that, and I would also like to note that anecdote is why you don't see this more often in games, because if you try that, you're way more likely to fuck it up than you are to get it right.
Yeah, no, you have to have actual people with
Yeah,
experience.
they actually cared enough to bring people in.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you need the money for that,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it's not
Yeah.
cheap.
Like you have to have everybody. You have to have them effectively supervise recording. It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think it was worth it. It gave the game a unique like flavor to it.
For sure.
Just all of it just felt executed really well, and something I didn't expect it to be that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of this game has a lot of wholesome, good vibes in it. And my brain was like, it would have been the worst thing in the world if they placed this like 2 days after the 2017 one. It's just like everyone's seeing Miles. He's walking down the street, listening to some music, he's jamming out, and then someone's like, hey, sorry, your dad's dead. And he's like, it's okay. And then it happens 10 more times.
Bada bing.
Yeah. The ending was really. It's like 1 week later. Yeah. Bopping down the street. My best friend just blew herself up.
They got to redo the scene from the beginning where he is bopping down the street, but it's like an unfamiliar place. He doesn't know anybody here.
Look, he's got he does it to cope, Phil. He bops to cope.
I get that you have to move on, but it's so
Whatever.
weird.
She's dust now.
Yeah, he's listening. The end of the game is him listening to Owl City.
My best friend turned into Iron Giant.
I'm Superman and you lied.
The one thing that I really wish this story hadn't making, it just feels like Miles does nothing but take L's in this game. Like, even the end, that last boss fight is just, okay, how are we going to switch from phases with fights with the Tinker? She beats the shit out of Miles in a cutscene and throws him through something. It's like, I feel like he shouldn't be getting owned so hard. And then who I guess is his best friend that he hasn't spoken to in years, but his best friend dies. So at some point, I gotta get my shit together as Spider-Man should have led to something. It feels like he never prevents the thing that made him upset initially.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's a personal failing on Miles' part other than not calling her, but
I think
he didn't. What's up?
I think that this is kind of like supposed to parallel Peter and just the Spider-Man experience is not being able to actually succeed fully.
Yeah, these games do a good job of going, yeah, character's gonna fuck up bad, and since Miles is new, he's gonna fuck up like the worst.
Like even at the end where he's talking to Peter about, I was like, yeah, some parts get easier, but no, it's never easy.
Yeah, I like that scene a lot. Of just, does it ever get easier? He's like, some, but
It's more that like somebody always had like if he gets like bailed out at the end essentially, and that left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because he gets bailed out and then somebody dies.
I was fine with it because the situation getting that bad was fucking bullshit the entire way.
Yeah, like I have problem with the whole ending. Like it's not like the 2017 Spider-Man where Peter, it ends on a downer note because Aunt May dies, but that's the side effect of him overcoming and then choosing to save the city.
Yeah, and I think those story beats hit a lot harder, considering, you know, he's still trying to make things better with Phin throughout the ending, and she just continues to be a shithead. And more importantly,
Yeah, that was my problem.
More importantly, she runs a fucking rampage downtown where she destroys thousands of cars, murdering countless people, and we just don't address that.
But Miles Morales lied.
I'm sure that there was a podcast we didn't get to hear right after that where it's like, luckily no one died, which there is for every other catastrophe in the game.
God,
Yes.
I think there actually is one for that where they're like, luckily no one was hurt.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
yeah, there is
which
that
insane.
for the bridge.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Man, yeah, they really. Also, her whole plan of blowing up the building, but it's okay, it's not done yet, so no one's going to be there. No, absolutely no casualties will happen. It's like, what?
Yeah, her whole plan is stupid. It should have just been, I'm going to kill Simon Krieger.
Also, it makes even less sense because this is supposed to be New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to say anything else about collateral damage.
I have to do a 9/11. I have to do a 9/11 to own this guy who won't be in the building.
Yeah, they really should have.
Yeah, it was really mocked with that.
That
like,
was really bad.
almost all
Probably
of Fin's
should have
writing
gone a
was
little
bad.
bit more M.
Or her plan.
Yeah, the whole
should have been-
ending segment I just couldn't get into. Couldn't get into it the way I did 2018, like the original Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was incredibly
Whatever.
strong in the original Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Like,
because at
there's-
the end where it's like,
Yeah, the original one is the best Spider-Man story in years.
yeah, it's like one of my favorites of just Ox like, help, you should help me. Stand aside, I'm gonna kill Osborn. And I'm like, I get it, I vibe with this. This is them clashing here makes sense. They've done their best. This is what we're gonna get. This one I'm like, this is like maybe one of the worst. Bad thing happened because no one communicates I've seen in a long time.
Also, Doc Ock has literal brain damage.
Yes.
I think
Does
I think
Phin?
Phin may also have brain damage.
Who knows?
maybe that's a
If only there was a
maybe
podcast.
that's an
about
element of the what's the fucking
new form.
Yeah, new form, the energy source that makes all your bones turn to salt.
Maybe the Deformo metal or whatever that she has on her face all the time is giving her brain cancer.
It's radiation from the like directly going into her eyes. That final boss was kind of cool. Like I enjoyed it being multiple phases. She's like, "Fuck it, 18 buzzsaws."
I did like the buzzsaws. They were very cool.
The buzzsaws are very cool. And
I did think the flashback sequence before that was also nice.
They're really fun to dodge at 30 frames per second. Is all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god.
I also enjoyed that flashback sequence where you can run into Peter and Doc Ock, and Doc's like, Peter, we should do a podcast about
And
this.
he's like, "No, I gotta go Spider-Man."
Yeah, I appreciated when I was dressed as Spider-Man and he ran into me, and I inspired Peter on that day. Apparently,
When we did the flashback, I was like, okay, we're either gonna see Osborn or Peter. I was kind of hoping we'd just see something really weird and random and neither of them. And no.
Now, see, I got what I assume is a glitch in the flashback where Miles runs like he's 3 years old up a slope. Which I will post the clip so everybody can enjoy it. But yeah, wherein he is running up and down a slope like he is a toddler.
Goo goo gaga. Yeah, it's glitch.
Yeah, that's gotta be broken.
What in the world? Because I've done that. I've been doing that segment. His arms don't move at quad speed like that does.
That's almost the Demon Souls dance and the Dark Souls dance of me and the boys.
I can't handle the fact that he just turns into Tommy Pickles.
Yes.
Yeah,
no,
that's. I
Jesus
lost it,
Christ.
and I did it multiple times
No, that's
before I
not a
took the
glitch.
video.
I just went up the hill just now. He does that if you run up hills.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh my god!
It's fantastic.
So does anyone else think the underwater stuff is going to be like a decent part of the next game? Because I feel like they have a huge section on that in the museum. I think it's got to come up in some way.
You know, they do. They even have like a blitzball arena thing.
Do you think Aquaman's in the next game? Aquaman could show up, right?
No, they got to do Hydro Man.
For a second there, I was like, yeah, sure.
I'm like, this'll trick someone in the audience. Bob's like, I'm right over here.
Do you think PS5 can handle like Hydro Man just as a video game character? Just man who's just water.
I think we can
Yeah,
do it.
absolutely. PS5 can. I don't know about PS4, you know.
It's okay. PS4's dead now.
Forever.
Someone's going to play Horizon Forbidden West on that fucking thing. And
You
no, not me. I was literally going to end that sentence with, and it's not me.
I literally just jump out with a knife.
This is fine. It's fine that it takes 8 minutes to load. It's fine. It's fine that it runs at 18 frames
You
a
thinking
second.
it shouldn't be cross-gen is toxic and classist.
Okay. I'm sure we would totally have all these duct scenes of you crawling through a long duct if this was only on PS5. Sure, those would stick around. Definitely not load times. That squeeze through was really funny though.
Yes.
Where it's just like she takes a while squeezing through and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I had a crash that I forgot to point out. You know, at the end where he's like, they're doing the first trailer moment where he's like sucking up all the electricity in the big reactor. And then he screams and it does the explosion of sucking it all in. It crashed there. Like right at the very height of like tension. I loaded back up. The game's saving constantly. So upon loading it, it just jumps the cutscene ahead 8 seconds. And then I'm like, all right, let's ramp back up again. It was a little concerning.
Anyway, I think we should wrap this up. Guess we'll get to the part where we do our final judgments. I've been very clear. I enjoy the combat more in some ways, a little bit less in other ways. I find some of the interesting, unique aspects of this over the original Spider-Man from 2017 really great. That glitch damn near ruined the game for me. It was heartbreaking over and over and over again. And as people have brought up, Phin is kind of bad as a villain near the end, even when Troy Baker himself calls in and he's like, ooh, Battle Royale, raw. Anyways.
He's so good. I wish he was just the final villain.
That would have been that would have been
way
Even
better.
if they did some lame shit of he's got Lex Luthor power armor on.
no, that would have been fine. But we have.
But
what we
whatever.
got.
The deep fakes thing is the funniest line I've heard in a decade, so it's okay.
Yes, it's real good. But yeah, that's it's. You know, I probably would have given this game an 8 or a 9 if I didn't have that soul-crushing glitch that just ruined so much of the fucking experience. You know, I think it's a pretty good game. I don't think the length is an issue, especially at the lower price. I think it's one of the prettiest games I've ever played, but fucking the glitches and the crashing just really, really ruined the experience for me. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I easily would have given it an 8 or a 9 if not for that. But yeah, that's my score. We'll go ahead and move on to Bob after this. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I also I like the game a lot for certain things, but then there's Phin, and she's really rough as a final villain.
I thought she was gonna be great.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she starts out great.
Yeah.
I thought it was really amazing that they introduce the Tinker and you reveal it's her almost immediately, because it's like, okay, we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah, it's gonna go somewhere.
Time for then the wheels spin.
That was great because at first I thought it was gonna be the podcast host because she has purple hair like highlights.
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been, yeah, actually.
That would have been kind of amazing if you had to deal
that
with
would
her
have been pretty
podcasting
great.
being all woke, and then she's actually a supervillain trying to bomb the city.
I would have laughed so hard I would have cried.
I thought that going into the game because they showed her in pre-release, and I'm like, she's the same color scheme. This better be a fucking way to trick me.
That would have been really good.
Just the reveal that, surprise, she's the Destiny character.
That'd be so funny. She invites you to her podcast, but it's a trap.
But yeah, there were things I said about the combat and whatnot that I didn't like as much as the last game, and I felt like I couldn't get into as much in general. Although the supporting cast was great, like all those Harlem guys are really neat. But yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 just because it did not feel as good as the last one. It's not because of length or anything like that. Even it's just the impact of a lot of things.
Okay, we will go to KZ next. KZ?
I had a lot of fun with this. As mentioned, I had limited technical problems, thankfully, so that kept the experience pretty all right. Length was fine. I pretty much did every side objective as soon as it unlocked, which was kind of fun. So it's just take out the bases once they pop up, take out the audio things as they pop up. Story, I enjoyed it. It's just the main centerpiece villain was a real dud at the end, and that really took me out of it, because every other villain I enjoyed, so it was a bit rough on that side. Combat's good. It has some stuff that I think is better than the original, but it takes away stuff that I wanted from the original. But yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. Yeah, I can sit on an 8 because I think the original's probably a lot better. Mainly due to the plot. I just think the plot and the previous one just nailed it a lot better.
Okay, and now we'll go to Mr. Feel.
This game feels a lot better because it runs at 60 frames per second, and also I think the combat is better. I think the story is much worse in terms of, because Phin, I also think that certain design gimmicks that keep coming up, like the gears and the electrical webbing, which I'm just gonna say, Peter, how are you poor? You made the most useful thing in the entire world. I get that you use it as Spider-Man, but you could be like, oh yeah, I reverse engineered it. It's as strong as suspension cables for a bridge and conducts electricity perfectly.
Spider-Man's like, I didn't know it could do that, Miles. What are you doing?
It's some real supervillain who invents a cure for cancer but uses it to kill people and rob banks tier thing. But all that stuff averages out to a 7. So I'm giving it a 7.
Okay, well, that means Spider-Man Miles Morales, getting 2 7s and 2 8s, gets a 30, which is a pretty respectable score.
Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, you gave it a 7. Okay, I thought you gave it an 8 for some reason.
No. I would have loved to give it a higher score, but Jesus fucking shit.
Yeah, no, you had a bit of a miserable time.
Yeah, it has almost double the score of The Last of Us Part 2.
It is 4 points better than Astral Chain and 3 points better than Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah, the performances of everyone in this were pretty great. Too bad about some of the shortcomings in the story. Delightful game though, and I'm very excited for the next Spider-Man game.
Yeah, if the bad villain was not the main one, this would have been a 9 easy. but it just couldn't push. The wrong person came in bad.
Yeah.
It should have been Teo. He should have been like, you stole my cat, Spider-Man.
You know, my cat, Spider-Man.
You stole Spider-Man, and everyone looks at him like he's crazy.
Then he has his army of Spider-Man cats.
He's like, I started a podcast too, Spider-Man.
We need a third podcaster. We need at least 2 more in Spider-Man 2 to have the 4 podcasting kings.
Yeah, I feel like we have to have a podcast-related premonition round on the gamer premonitions for Spider-Man 2.
I think
Hold
Peter
on.
has to start his own.
You reminded me of, what's the name of your friend in this, Genki?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Genki.
Genki.
That thing where he's like, I'm guesting on the podcast. I need to get ready. What do you mean you need to get ready? What if there's a camera? I don't want her to see that I'm in my sweatpants.
And then I just think, I bet she doesn't fucking edit it, does she?
Okay, maybe I'm the only one. Did
Uh-huh.
Genki in the first few cutscenes to anyone else look like he was kind of ripped? Just something about the way his shoulders looked to me of like, I thought that he looked huge.
Okay, if anyone's made it this far into the spoiler cast and has the ability to draw, I want jacked Genki on my desk.
Just put his head on Buff
Twitter.com.
Riku.
Oh, I was going to say Ben Swolo, but... Jesus Christ.
Leave the undergrad to me.
This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by our lordly executive producers. Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, Third Birthday Wen, and Adam Macarena. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. Soar on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots and become an executive producer today.